Coming to you live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 3.
So I just think it's something that people need to understand more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, we're live. Hiya.
Hello. Just having a little talk about the pros of social media, aren't we?
Yeah. We've got some good ideas there, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of them with social media. It's kind of like what's happening in the world and what's going on, why so many people and so many businesses have kind of started up online.
Mm-hmm. And why it's so important to make that change. Well, to acknowledge, to move some of your business online.
Yeah. It's important. People, especially business owners, that have been in the same business for so many years and are so used to how to running things, and now they're at a point where they can't have a shop, the shops can't open, the customers isn't there, the footfall is not there, the advertising's not there.
Yeah, so we just want to talk about everything that's changing, basically, in social media, how you can get on board with it and go with the change and sort of progress whatever it is that you do, like your artisticness, your whatever it is. Video creator, how you can push it forward and how you can get on board with social media, basically what we've done.
Yeah, and how to start as well, because that's the hardest thing, isn't it?
Offer up some advice to people that are starting up. And also there's like how you can push your content and what you can do with that as well.
I think that's one of the reasons we've decided to start doing what we're doing, especially with this podcast and everything on Facebook rather than other platforms.
Yeah,
is because Facebook are trying to basically get more people onto the platform.
Yeah,
whether it's gaming, whether it's podcasts, whatever it is, they want more people to come onto the platform because they know that everything else is everyone's been
it's kind of
on YouTube and everything so far.
Yeah, so the time is now to start. If you've always wanted to sort of share what you do.
It's like the next generation of social media, especially with, we've done a lot of looking at like what's coming up, what's changing with Instagram and Facebook. There's a lot of affiliation and monetization things that Facebook are bringing to Instagram and all their platforms to try and get people.
But it's also they all interlink as well, don't they? So once you sort of learn the basics with one social media platform, it all sorts of it like interlinks, and you start noticing that it's not as hard and as like inapproachable as it kind of looks.
No, it looks quite daunting when you start.
Yeah, because like when we started, you sit there and you're like, oh my god, like you'd watch someone else's podcast and you're like, how did they do that?
Yeah,
like, and you sort of, because you don't know, you tell yourself that you'll never know and you'll never be able to do it, so you just got to watch, and you can't sort it out for yourself, you know what I mean?
No. And I think now's the perfect time, like we said, now's the perfect time to move, not necessarily your whole business, but definitely branch your business on to an online platform, whatever that platform might be.
Yeah, well, our workshop business has changed so many times because we've gone in with a normal head, sort of how you would start a business, and then we've been like, oh wait, actually you can't do that anymore.
No.
So how are we going to change the business to like fit in with the current times?
We were going to open a shop, weren't we?
Yeah, we was a physical shop, yeah.
But now with Shopify and Etsy and everything, you can do that. And there's even websites out there now where you can get somebody to make the produce for you, send them the order, get them to make it, deliver it without you having to even receive the item, so you haven't even got to pay for storage or anything, and they'll ship it for you.
Yeah.
And you're making the profit, and they take a percentage. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
especially for clothes and all that lot.
Yeah, it might as well all just be online.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, the old way of trying to reach people is like putting a sign outside your shop, like, you know, trying to do face-to-face, word of mouth, stuff like that. But you can reach so much of a wider audience that people don't know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost the earth
No.
to just reach people that might want to see your content, because it's like a win-win for Facebook. Say we're live streaming on Facebook, it's a win for them because we're bringing more people to their platform.
To the platform, yeah.
So they've got to look at us and go, are they bringing people to the platform? What can we do that for them to help?
Yeah.
So they can help us to help them. So that's why they provide you with so much help. Also, step-by-step guides and stuff like. Actually,
well, we're going to work on
integrated
some of
into
them
the
anyway, aren't we? We're going to work on showing people how we've
some
done what we've done.
tutorials.
Yeah.
Because it is quite accessible, isn't it? And it's accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
No matter what walk of life.
No, as long as you have access to the internet, that's literally all you need.
Yeah. Well, we've proved that with we've set up our live stream.
Yeah, we have.
We'll show you more one day. Not today.
No. But I just think it's important to get that message out there to business owners, to get them to understand that it's not as scary and as daunting as people make it out to be, to make the move or make the switch or whatever. It's a case of you're going to have to take the plunge, whether it's now, in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years. Social media is going to get to the point where you won't have a choice. In order to run a successful business, you need to be online.
Well,
whatever format that might be.
You are saying future.
Yeah.
At the minute, but I think we're living in that future.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
This
well,
is the time to move. To get to grips with it.
Yeah.
Really, because it's obviously the future.
I mean, all you've got to do is look at the generation that like after us, right? They're already way ahead of us in terms of intellect to do with computers and and making content.
It's been around
exactly
since they were born.
Yeah.
Like.
We have flip phones.
My twins know how to use a tablet and a phone. Like,
yeah.
Obviously, it's to some people, like, I don't know, later on in the generations that find it hard to use that, but your kids know, like, a lot.
I think maybe one of the biggest worries for, like, social media is the lack of, people have this misconception that if you know the next generations come up with using social media so much, the social skills in society will diminish. And I feel like that's fine, but if you look at a photo from, say, the 1940s, 1950s on a train or on a bus, everyone sat there reading a newspaper. There's no different.
I know.
It's just now you sat there watching YouTube or watching Facebook. Or
literally, it's just more accessible and easier. It's in the palm of your hand now.
Yeah.
You don't have to walk to
there's
the
more
shop
information.
to buy a newspaper.
Yeah.
But the times have changed, so you don't do that. So there's less human interaction even then anyway.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah.
Especially with the time that we're living in. Like, it's going that way, and at the minute, there's no other way of doing business. So you need sort to go with the flow, basically.
Which is why these platforms are just are taking off and
helping as well, because they want it to be. If you're successful, they want to be part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean?
mean?
They know that if they're paying you a certain percentage, they're still making enough money, even if they had 100 million people making 2%. It doesn't matter to them because their ad revenue is still going to be the same, and it's the same on any of these social media platforms.
Definitely, yeah.
They're all the same at the end of the day, and you've just got to ride the wave or stay in the dark age.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? But watching, like, me and you have both been in the hospitality industry, and watching pubs and clubs and everything closed down.
Very, very sad.
It's been sad, and we know a lot of people that have been working in those industries. Here in England, abroad, you know, all around the world, it's happening to people.
Yeah.
But it's a case of, I'd say that's probably one of the only industries that can't move online. As in, like, you can't physically buy a beer from an online shop. But what you can do is you can do delivery.
Yeah, you can do
you know what I mean?
Deliveroo
and
all those things.
Yeah. So
but that's
you
getting
can
into
just create-
social media anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're going that way, you might as well
Yeah.
jump on board with everything.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got your alcohol license, then in theory you should be able to deliver.
Yeah.
So you could create a Facebook, YouTube account, whatever. Say we're this local pub. We're doing local deliveries to all these people.
But
If
get
you order
yourself
over a
out
certain
there,
amount,
do something that's eye-catching.
something. Yeah.
Like with the creative platform, if someone was to come to us like, I need you to help me create like an ad that's going to propel my business forward on social media, and we'd be like, step into our office. That's exactly what we want.
But we know exactly where to go. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? We understand the analytics behind everything, and we understand how to do Facebook ads, Google ads, and get the reach that you need in order for it to be successful. You know what I mean? And I think that's the scariest bit, because people, let's say you set up a clothesline and you're like, I want to create a clothesline. There's so many different clotheslines out there. The most daunting fact is going, how am I going to compete with all these clotheslines? How am I going to compete with Amazon? And
But that's where you got to get creative, haven't you?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's
where we could come in as also to help.
You've got to have a different idea.
Yeah.
And not necessarily even a different idea, just the same idea as somebody else, but better. You know what I mean?
Just leveled up a bit.
Yeah. Like somebody, I think I was watching it on like Shark Tank or something, and one of them said, in order to be successful, all you've got to do is find a problem in everyday life and just come up with a solution for it.
Yeah.
And that's all you need for a business idea. You know what I mean? We found a problem, and the problem is people don't understand, well, certain generations don't understand how to make an income online, whatever platform that may be.
Yeah.
And we've gone, all right, let's create a solution to that. We'll help you, and we'll teach you, and we'll show you how to do the things that you don't know how to
We
do.
want to make it accessible for everybody, don't
Exactly, yeah. You know, it's not something like all the creators and everything and the influencers say, it's not for me to hold on to this information. I've just learnt it.
Yeah.
All you got to do is ask, and the information's out there.
Well, you don't lose your flame by lighting another candle, do you?
No, you just have to keep going.
Definitely.
But I definitely feel like it's a different generation. From when we were growing up with climbing up trees and running around outside in a park and everything, to how kids are now.
Yeah, I actually dragged my son up a tree last summer, which he hates me for actually now. Yeah, I've got it on video, and he said that. So yeah, so he's usually used to playing Fortnite and stuff, but I would literally took him up the tree with me.
Yeah,
I wasn't taking no for an answer, because when I was his age, I'd look at a tree and I'd be like, oh, I want to climb that. So I dragged him up the tree. He'll appreciate it. I know he didn't at the time, but he will.
Well, that's what being a kid's about, and I think that's what parents are worried about the most, is that the kids not getting those experiences. Silly things like crossing a road.
Yeah.
You got taught, press the button,
Streetwise
turn
and
left,
road
turn
sense
left,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you remember that hedgehog advert?
Yes.
Staying alive.
Yeah, where did the hedgehog go, guys?
I know, yeah, what happened
Where
to the
did it go?
hedgehog?
Hashtag bring back the hedgehog.
Yeah, that needs to get trending.
Trending.
Hashtag bring back the hedgehog.
Yeah, teach some road sense to me, because I can't cross a bloody road.
No.
No.
You just go, don't you?
I'm always thinking.
Yeah.
I'm always dreaming.
That'll change when you drive.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, it either will or it won't. We'll have to stay tuned to find out.
Which is why I'll never get in your car.
I know, yeah. Already told you it's a horse, not a car.
Oh, yeah.
Told you.
Yeah. Fuck your Honda Civic. What a horse hazard.
Yeah. Amazing that, isn't it?
But I think you can look at the negatives on how social media is affecting kids, or you can look at the positives and think, how much easier is it for a child to become educated through social media? You've got to weigh up both sides. You know what I mean?
Because of social media, my son is now not missing out on his schoolwork, because his teacher's there at 10:30, I think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 10:30 sharp. She's there ready for her students. Not everyone can join, because obviously circumstances, but whoever can join, teachers are doing a good job of keeping it going, but that's only because of social media.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be possible if that wasn't a thing.
No.
So that's another pro to you, going with the times and getting ready, because it's a way to stay in contact and feel close when you
Yeah.
can't. Because I know Taylor is like, he was a bit lonely before that started, but he's like, when class ends, he's got a choice whether he can stay in the group and talk to his mates, or he can leave and they can go off and play Fortnite or play different games like that together.
Yeah.
So that's the power of social media.
It keeps them connected.
Yeah.
Which every kid needs.
Yeah.
They need that ability to connect with other kids, because that's how they learn it.
Mm-hmm. And it's good that they're all in this. They see all the classmates.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. But even seeing things on all the other social media platforms, like a lot of kids are using like TikTok and stuff these days.
Yeah.
And I think more and more kids are becoming more and more creative because they're seeing influencers on TikTok and YouTube and everything like that.
Yeah, they are.
And they're seeing, oh, I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try it. And they're being able to, the brain's working in a different way to say our brains were working, because we never really, unless you went to drama or dance. Or
Yeah,
we
well,
don't really have that.
they've got a subject in school that we didn't have, and that's coding. That they have to learn now as curriculum. So that's how much the times have changed. Like, my daughter will ring
And I
me
think
like,
they'll change even more.
I wrote a really good algorithm today, Dad. Like, what? Excuse me, you did what? How much? What?
What, you're going to hack my computer?
You wrote an algorithm? Like, what? Excuse me? You know what I mean? If you need any advice, just ask your kids, bro.
Yeah,
they're
they know way
writing
more
bloody
than you do.
algorithms at school, like
It's crazy.
coding,
Yeah.
animation,
Yeah.
because it's just getting ready for this.
I think within the next, I think it was Elon Musk that said not long ago, was like within the next 5 years the curriculum's going to have to change, because even silly things like maths, like basic maths everybody needs, but do you really need to do an exam in maths when you have a calculator on your phone, or you have Google that tells you the answer to any question that you could possibly think of?
Basically it's a waste of brain power to keep those things.
I think your brain's only got a certain amount of storage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think if you pile it full of stuff that they don't need to remember, but they need to learn, and then if they need to learn it, it's accessible there and then, but they don't need to remember it up until the point they need to know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now.
But before, when we were younger, it was a bit different.
It was completely different.
Yeah.
But the school system, it's not changed yet, and I think it will. I think it will catch up eventually.
Well, with what's going on at the moment, it has to. It's had to adapt, and I'm seeing that firsthand at home. Like,
yeah,
it's amazing to see, really. Like how different it is. It's like Taylor's not, like, I'm not taking Taylor to school in the morning. I'm just going, Taylor, make sure, well, my missus, make sure you're ready for 10:30 so you can go to school, basically.
Do you think that when schools open again, do you think that there'll be a lot more parents that are wanting to homeschool?
I think so. I think it's kind of lent that way, because if they was already doing it, I think that's the problem they've got if they don't open them soon.
Because I know there was a lot of people moaning years ago about the amount of money that's been spent in public schools and everything like that, and they're not progressing and whatever, and there's not the space in public schools and everything. So surely the logical thing to do would to be just teach a class of 20, 30 kids online, and then free up the schools for children in need, children that are vulnerable or whatever, that can go into the class and learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then that creates more opportunities for more kids that can go into the public schools.
Well, now
without having to
all this has happened, they can rethink everything, really, can't they? Everything can change. It doesn't even have to go back to the way it was.
I think it'll have to. I don't think the world will go back to how it was, because I don't think it would work.
Yeah, it's kind of good to speculate on that as well, isn't it? Like, what do you think it's going to be like?
Yeah.
After this?
Don't know.
When do you think the end is going to be?
I honestly, I think that's the scariest bit for a lot of people, especially people like we've said, like that are in specific industries that are probably going to be pushed back and back because they're not classed as necessities. You know what I mean? I know there's been a massive bust up with gyms and everything because they want to get back open because it's affecting people's,
mental health
and everything like that, because people want to be able to go and get fit or whatever, you know, and people have the rights to do that.
Yeah, not
So it's
everyone can make
affecting
a
that
homemade
problem.
gym, can they?
No,
Not
exactly.
everyone's got the money to do that.
No, but if it's at a place where the gyms were open for another year, then people are going to have to adapt. And then when gyms do open, our gym's going to struggle because people have adapted at home.
You see, you've
And
got to
not go
prepare
back,
yourself
you know
for
what I
all
mean?
of that if you are a business owner.
Yeah.
To what people have adapted to at home, and is there a business still there after?
Which is why I think a lot of like PTs have moved online and are doing, you know, PT sessions on Instagram,
Well,
Facebook, YouTube.
The kids still do PE as well with the mum.
Yeah.
Like, there's PE going on at home. Like, so everyone's doing it basically.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing everything from home now.
Yeah.
And it's opening so many doors because people are like, why haven't we done some of this stuff for years from home? And it's changed the way businesses are, the way they hire. And I don't think it will change back now.
No.
Because what's the point in having a office building, full of people when you can
We're
just
paying
work
the
from
upkeep
home?
for it.
Yeah, everyone's got a laptop. Well, not everyone's got a laptop. You know
No.
what I mean?
But even saying that, like, you know, my sister started a job working online, basically at a call centre. They gave her a laptop, they gave her everything. You know what I mean? So if you get that job, they normally provide you with the equipment that you need to do the job.
Yeah.
So even if you don't have access to a computer at home, if you've got a job, they would more likely give you the capabilities to be able to do that job, which is where I think everything's going. Because if you think the cost of a laptop, say, I don't know, an alright laptop for people to just do work on, 500-600 quid per person, is going to work out a lot cheaper than paying office, electric, water, heating.
Yeah, they use their own, don't they?
Exactly. It makes more sense. Whether again, that's the other thing with the wages as well. You know what I mean? Because normally,
Can that ever
within
go? That
wages-
could never go back, really, can it?
Well, I don't think it can. But at the same time, it's like, let's say you used to go to work and you used to commute to work, right, every day, 5 days a week. Let's say on average you'd spend 30 quid, 40 quid on fuel, and your insurance would be 80, 90 quid a month.
Yeah.
That's all stuff that if you can work from home and you don't need to go for.
Well, it's a win-win, really, isn't it?
Exactly.
For everybody.
Because your expenses should be less.
Even game developers are working from home, and they've adapted so well and still pushing out game content.
Yeah.
That do they even need to go back? Like,
No.
What is the future going to look like?
I don't think it's scary. I think you've just got to understand there's going to be a change. People need to understand that, and then you either ride the wave, or like you said, you stay in the dark ages. You know, but I think there's plenty of positives with the way the world's moved, and rather than looking at all the negatives, you know what I mean. I think like we've
you can
said,
spend your time going, oh, remember when this was like that, remember when that was like this,
Yeah.
remember this, remember that, or you can just carry on.
Yeah,
You know
just
what I mean?
carry on
It's like,
every day.
it's not like that anymore, so yeah.
Let's do something.
Yeah, instead of remembering how it was and it's never going to be again.
Well, I suppose like the only example we could probably use is if you went back to like one of the world wars. Like you're so used to living in a country where you might have a bomb raid come over your head, and you know you need to go into a bomb shelter or whatever that is.
Yeah.
For 10 years, and then all of a sudden everything's back to normal. You can go out, you can do what you want. You don't have to listen out for warning signs. That must be a strange, especially if you're a kid that got brought up from being born knowing that.
We're sort of going to be like that anyway, because I've just had a son, and this is all he's going to know if it carries on for a while. Yeah. So it's going to be weird for them. Yeah. It's like the game Fallout where you come out of a shelter, like I'm in the year 2099 or something, you know what I mean? And you're like, what's going on?
I think it's one of them. It's like, I know I speak to people, passing by and all the time and in the shops, and they're all like, oh, it'll be over by March, and
you can't really speculate on it. You've just got to make a plan.
You can't. If it's a year, it's a year. If it's 3,
I'm gonna have I'm gonna organise a rave, let's say, for I don't know, June, because that's given enough time for this thing to blow over. Yeah. I don't see the point.
No.
Because that might not happen. You have to make a plan with what could happen. Like it could be a long time.
And I think I think as social media progresses and we stay in this indoor environment, we're going to become more and more reliant on social media to keep us interacted with people, to keep us notified of what's going off in the world and blah 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 blah.
But that's
You know
how
what I mean?
people are getting through the day at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just consuming. But for me, there's good consuming and there's bad consuming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people
Elaborate
said.
on that.
Yeah, well, you've got people that are like, you could come out of lockdown smart, or you could come out of lockdown not smart. Like, not any
Do you
smarter
mean
than
like
already
you
were.
could turn the other way and ignore what's going on in the hopes that it goes back to being how
Yeah.
it used to be?
Yeah.
Or prepare for the future.
Yeah.
That's what you mean by you can be smart about it, or you can flip of a coin, basically. You can 50-50 it, or you can make a plan now.
Well, like, we've taught ourselves everything that we know about social media now.
Yeah.
We didn't know that 3 months ago.
No.
Which meant if we come out of lockdown, say, tomorrow, right, and we were like, oh, I wish we'd have started a podcast, or I wish we'd have started on social media.
Yeah.
Well, we've had 3 months where we could have learned because
Yeah.
we weren't doing anything else, but we chose not to, and we chose to watch Netflix and
Chose
watch
to
YouTube
flip of a
and
coin,
yeah.
and whatever happens.
And unfortunately,
yeah,
nowhere's back open, even though lockdown's over.
Yeah.
Nowhere's back open. You know, you can't get any jobs anywhere. The only jobs are online. So then you've got to delve into social media, and then you give yourself 3 months further back than what you would have been if you'd just done it in the first place. So I think there's good learning and like good social media consumption and bad. You know what I mean? Like, we've even, because obviously we've got the workshop downstairs, we've even seen that, like, reminded ourselves that we don't know how to do something. Let's watch something on YouTube. Oh, right, remember how to do that. Or, oh, we've learned something new today. Let's go downstairs and try it. Let's try and carve it like this. Let's try and do this,
I think the best way to learn is by putting it into practice straight away.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, like even like university, like there's so many people that have started on, like, even before what's going on, there's so many people that have started online learning, online university courses and business courses or whatever those courses might be, that now it's at a point where is it worth going into so much student debt to go to university when
it's so available
you're
online.
but you're not even there.
Yeah.
So, like, students have been saying this for months. They're like, we're paying our tuition, but we're not even able to go to university.
Saying, yeah.
So we're not experiencing the university as different generations have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether that being going out or just meeting new people, living in dorms, whatever that is.
Well, you
but
were
they're
talking
still paying
about
the tuition.
part of student life is sometimes working in hospitality as well, and
Yeah, of course.
that whole section of some people's life is now gone.
Yeah.
Because when I was a chef, 90% of front of house
Yeah.
were all uni students.
Yeah. Well, that's what they rely on. They get their student loan, and then they go and get a job that's 3, 4, 5 days a week, where they work in a pub, a restaurant.
They learn
whatever.
some life skills and
Exactly,
all
yeah.
sorts, even stuff they won't even learn in uni from working in that kind of environment.
Which means that what's going to happen is they'll leave university after 3, 4, 5 years with no work experience at all, trying to get a job against people that have been in the business in that industry for years.
And also people that have just made a start and looked at YouTube and done it instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of going the other route.
Yeah. I mean, like I was speaking on our first podcast. There's a professor from Canada called Jordan Peterson, and he puts all his lectures online, so anybody can watch them on YouTube, because he's so against people having to pay curriculum fees. And the university basically tried to get him banned from doing it, but he won the case and he proceeded to put everything on.
Yeah.
But it's literally at a point where if you're interested in psychology, you can go to his page on YouTube and watch hours and hours and hours of lectures where he sits down and basically gives you a psychology degree.
Yeah.
But you just don't get a piece of paper at the end of it. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just the certificate.
But how important is that piece of paper in industry is going to be
in the future? You don't know. You don't know, though.
People that have planned their whole life already, they're already going to have to adapt and change now.
Yeah, I think even, people that have say that they've picked a university course and they've gone to university and they're like, I want to do this. That industry might not exist after we come out of this lockdown. You know what I mean? Like, it might not be there. So now they've
You
got
have
to
look
either
at what's left,
relearn.
basically,
Yeah,
after this.
yeah,
What are we left with?
yeah. And I think that's why.
With all shops moving online, what are we actually? Are we left with anywhere physically to go?
Mm-hmm. Well, you look at some of the big people, like like Topshop, Debenhams, blah blah blah. They've
Can I
all
have
been.
another coffee?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
They've all been like bought out. We brought coffee. Oh, that was loud. Yeah, they've all been bought out because they can't. They've gone bust.
Yeah.
So other big companies have took them over and whatnot. Lot, and it won't be long since people like Amazon and that lot that basically take up everything.
Yeah. Well, you walk
Because
around.
it makes sense.
You walk around town centre now, and there's nowhere open,
No, there
and
isn't.
they're not going to reopen either because there's no point.
No. Well, even the small shops down there. Like if you look at the small shops that are there.
Sorry about
there's no.
It does sound good though. Sounds wicked.
It does, yeah. Shall I
Sorry.
play back?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, all the small. If you go down places like, because obviously we live in Derby. If you go down places like Sadlergate and all that stuff, those shops have been closing down for years because of mass corporations that have been taken over. Blah, blah, blah. But now it's at a point where even the big companies aren't surviving.
No.
Even like if you look at Primark, for example, they're not even online. You can't buy Primark stuff online unless you go onto another website to buy it from the other website from Primark. You know what I mean?
Also, the other side of it, look at Mixer.
Yep. That came and went.
That's Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
They went bust at,
Yep.
the beginning of this thing. That's Mixer, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That was on everybody's Xbox.
Yep.
And now it's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a big organisation taking a massive hit.
Which is like, have you heard about what happened in America with GameStop? Don't know if you heard about it.
Oh wait, something about shares.
Yeah.
Remind me, because I looked. But
Well,
I
without
didn't
going
really
into like too much detail, basically what happened is for years and years and years and years, that Wall Street has been fiddling with numbers,
Yeah.
right? And people have made millions and millions and millions of dollars, and there's a lot of business people that understand how Wall Street works and have made a lot more money than they should have, right? But basically, there was a group of people on Reddit that got together and thought, we're going to try and do what they do. So what they did was they all purchased, like we're talking a couple of hundred people, all decided to purchase shares into GameStop,
Yeah.
which sent the share price rocketing, which meant everybody was panicking. They were like, because the people that had shares in there were
Yeah.
like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So then you had loads of people buying it, which sent it straight up. But the people on Reddit knew that it was going to crash because they knew it wasn't real.
Yeah.
Because they
It
just
was
shorted it.
Yeah.
And then it crashed, and people lost millions, like millions and millions and millions.
10
million billion. Literally.
10 billion billion.
But that just shows you the power of social media, because literally what happened, it came from Reddit, they figured it out, it got all over
It was just done
Facebook,
on purpose.
YouTube. Yeah. It got everywhere, and millions of people put money in it. Loads of people made money because
But
they pulled
it's-
out at the right time.
It just goes to show at what level people are working on now, like with social media and all this stuff. They can.
There's so many ways.
They can do that. They can use social media to make such an impact like that, where they can crash the bloody stock market.
Yeah.
Well, not the whole
Not
stock market,
but
yeah. But
play around with
GameStop.
shares and everything.
Yeah.
But that literally shows you the capabilities of everything that's going off with social media, and how it's not going to change. It's not going to go anywhere. You've either got to go with it or not. And
Yeah. Well, we're trying to figure out sort of where we're going to put our shop at the minute. But every time I think of this place and that place, I just think Amazon,
Yeah.
because there's no point.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Everyone's going to get bought out by Amazon anyway.
Yeah, Shopify, Amazon. So do you just
Bite the
build
bullet.
a shop on Amazon now? Like, is that what you do?
I think that's what it is. I mean, it was like the big thing that went off like last year and the year before about affiliate marketing on Amazon, and how you can do like drop shipping and everything like that. And loads of people made a shitload of money from doing it. And then the manufacturers started to click onto the fact that people were doing this. So they started to say, all right, but we want a piece of the pie. So now the people that have been doing this drop shipping, everything's changed. Amazon's changed. The manufacturers have changed. So that's like dead in the water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think you have to. I don't think you can put all your eggs in one basket, which is like for us, for example, like why we're trying to grow on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So you can't put everything on one platform and expect one platform to last you forever.
No,
because you've got to be careful. Do you know what I mean?
You can't.
And each platform's slightly different as well.
Also, you got to be careful where you start your business because you might get locked into a contract with someone that you don't know about.
Yeah.
That then stops you from
doing it anywhere else.
Doing anything anywhere
Which is
else.
what a lot of these streaming softwares are trying to do to, especially gamers and stuff, get them locked down into, tied to affiliate themselves. Yeah.
If they see like anything out of you, you're getting a few views. They're like, oh, affiliate.
Yeah, and they want that at the start. Even people like.
But that's
Joe
what
Rogan,
streamers want, and they know that.
Yeah.
So they'll quickly affiliate the people that they think are going to do well, and then they'll lock them into a contract. But if you're a game streamer and you get the email saying you can now be an affiliate, you're going to go yes, without even thinking about it. You're going to accept, yes, click this box, yes, done. Yeah. So just weigh up your options, streamers, before you make any rash decisions.
I mean, I watched a podcast not long ago it was Joe Rogan and Bill Burr. Obviously, Bill Burr's a really famous comedian, and they were talking about how up and coming comics get screwed over by managers and everything. And what's basically happening, it's been happening for years, is they'll come in and they'll go, right, what we'll do is we'll promote you, we'll get you all these shows, blah blah blah, but we want half of your show. We want your revenue from seats. We want this.
Yeah,
and people, because they're so desperate to get noticed, go, yeah.
You got to be careful of monopolies, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because when you start realizing how algorithms work and who the top dogs are and stuff, you got to watch out for them monopolies because they come up quite a lot.
I mean, there's been plenty of podcasts that have been tried to be bought, but they've all said no. But there's been podcasts out there that have been bought and then been bought for something way less than what it's worth. Yeah. And then they've probably sat there and thought, oh God, what have I done? You know what I mean? Because they wanted the 100k rather than if they'd have gone for another year, they'd have been up to 5 million.
Yeah, so you know
what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's that one of with social media.
You want to be acknowledged.
Like, you want to be noticed now. Yeah. You want to be making money now. You want to be noticed now. But
it's
with
not
it,
as easy
you've
as
got to
that.
ride the wave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you could put £50 worth of ads on Facebook every day for a year, and you probably will get the views, and you probably will get enough to get monetized. But the people watching your content won't be interested in watching your content.
It's not just ads, though. There's so much more.
Yeah.
There's so much more you can do to get your content noticed.
But it's being noticed by the right people. I'd rather have 100 subscribers that watch my content than 10,000 subscribers that don't.
Yeah.
And don't interlink, don't interact with you. It makes no sense. Why would you do that?
No.
I'd rather grow naturally and small and in time, but with the right people going in you and the right people that listen to you, than to just go.
You've got to build a relationship with the viewer, really, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's easy to establish that with less people.
Yeah. Well, that's another positive of social media. It's building relationships with people that you'd never thought of building a relationship up with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's been TV programs on, and I said about my dad, like he found like a long lost brother.
Yeah, you did, didn't
you? In I think it was in South Africa that they didn't even know about, and then they found him on Facebook, and they talk all the time and blah blah blah. But that's just something that
the same
done
thing
10 years ago.
The same thing happened with my missus's mum.
Yeah.
She found a long lost sister as well because of social media.
Yeah.
I think it was. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was social media.
But there's so many capabilities, and I think the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. But if you watch the news and everything, and you hear all the negative comments and the racism and all of that stuff, it's like there will always be like you will never ever get rid of all the negative side of social media.
No.
But if you look for the positives, they'll be there in your face way more than the negatives will.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
only if you go. It's why like influencers say don't read your comments.
Yeah,
because you don't need to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Read the comments, but read them with a pinch of salt if you're going to read them, because don't take personally.
There's always going to be someone to bring you down.
Of course
There's going to be someone that wakes up in the morning just to come on and
keyboard warriors. Yeah.
I'm gonna mess this guy's day up.
Yeah. No, but that's never going to change. No matter how much these
Words
social
are-
media platforms try to censor it, you won't ever get rid of all of it. You know what I mean?
No.
But also, what happens as well is if you over censor, people will start to lose like interest on talking because they will always be concentrating on what they're going to say.
Yeah, and
to
if
make
they're
sure they
allowed
don't say
to
anything that's
it-
wrong or this or that. So censorship is good, but it has to be in that right level.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I think we're at that level now where there's been a few issues
Mhm.
on a few different platforms where people have said something they shouldn't, and some people have been banned when they shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that's been up in the news, and
Yeah.
a lot of influencers and people and
They're
YouTubers have been
put off.
speaking about it. Yeah,
Well, you put off just in
You
case,
are.
like your whole reputation gets tarnished by
Yeah.
something you.
by something random.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think as long as you stay honest and true to yourselves on social media, I don't think you'll ever go wrong. You just have to be. Don't try and be somebody that you're not. Just try and
Just
be
be
you.
yourself.
You know what I mean? Like that's what you do in normal society.
You don't want to be flicking the camera on and putting on a massive act because
No.
that's exhausting. Like, just
And you'd never keep it up.
just make a start.
yeah,
You'll find people will find you
yeah,
that like the content that you're making, to where you don't have to censor yourself straight away before you've even started and worry about if people are going to like you or not. You just go anyway,
yeah,
and then people that like you will be attracted to you.
yeah.
So don't ever sort of start a platform acting
No.
like putting on an act, because it's very exhausting.
And I don't think it matters what platform you do it on. Every platform is very, very similar in that. You know what I mean? Like if you put an act on, let's say you want to become a comedian,
Yeah.
right? There's nothing wrong with trying to be funny because you're trying to do something that you want to do.
Yeah.
You might not naturally be funny, but if you think that you want to be a comic, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, you got it.
But if people were to say to you then, oh, you're trying to be someone that you're not, well, yes, I am, but I'm trying to improve myself. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to do it in a negative way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
And I think that's all right, but it's just within those means. But if me and you were to come on here and put accents on and wear Gucci clothes and
to try and conform to what
people think they want to watch,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Then we would never feel comfortable when we did something
put
like
loads of
this, like a
diamond
podcast.
chains on, some gold teeth in, like
Yeah,
nah,
yeah.
that's not me.
That's not the one.
That's not me. That's not me.
No, definitely.
I'm more like cheers. Joe.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need to pick my cup up. Hey,
Yeah,
mate.
you do.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I do, yeah. It's bad luck. You need to sip after you cheers.
Oh
It's
shit.
bad luck if you don't.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. We'll have none of that. We don't want any of that. Bad luck.
No, we've had enough of that with the fire. The fire we shall not name.
No.
Rip.
No.
Rip.
I'm excited, mate. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Not necessarily just for me and you and for the platform, but
Yeah.
social media in general and watching other people, especially people that want to come over to the platform and come and work with us.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how how progression works within the society that we're going to be living in now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's only going to get, like Facebook have already said, it's only going to get easier to become affiliated. Not because they want to just give it to you.
No.
You're going to have to work for it, but they want to be able to give you the tools to help you do that.
Yeah.
Because they understand that everybody isn't that type of person.
Well,
They need help.
it's the massive fight of the platforms at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like who's going to come out on top,
Yeah.
and who's going to be Mixer,
Yeah.
who's going to be the next Mixer to get closed down because too many people are streaming on a certain platform and they just can't get the views.
Well, the thing is you've got YouTube that's owned by Google.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to go anywhere, right? You've got Facebook and Instagram that are owned by Facebook, and Facebook's not going to go anywhere.
No.
So those two are your main solid platforms that you would always work on. Places like Twitter and TikTok and stuff, you know, TikTok's quite new, it's up and coming, everyone seems to be doing really well on it, that's giving it a go. Obviously we're going to give it a go and see what happens. And I think that platform is for me, TikTok's the new Snapchat. It's the new in thing. It's
Yeah, it
like BlackBerry Messenger or when iMessenger came out, or it's that new thing that everyone wants to be a part of.
Yeah.
It was like when Instagram first came out. It was like, oh, I want to be on Instagram.
And
you know what I mean?
You see all the celebrities and everything moving over to that platform, making TikToks.
I mean, who thought things like MySpace and Bebo would have disappeared? You know what I mean? You think how big MySpace and Bebo... When we were kids, MySpace and Bebo were the only things anyone ever had.
Yeah.
And then I used to
design MySpaces for people, and like, everybody thought that was going to be there forever, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone.
Yeah.
Just like, sorry, this URL doesn't work like this anymore. You're like, what?
Yeah. It's
Excuse
weird.
me.
It's crazy. But that's how fast social media can change. And you just have to be aware that there is new social media platforms that's going to come up. Like, for example, I was telling you the other day about one of my friends that's just made a new app.
Yes.
It's called Go Pull It. You can download it on Android. They're trying to work a deal with Apple at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, he set that up for as a new social media platform that you can post onto all your social medias, so you can link it all in.
Yeah.
It's basically like a mixture between TikTok and Instagram. But the idea is when you post on there, you also are given a little bit of money to a charity.
Yeah.
You choose which charity it is, right? And then basically what happens is, I think it's like a penny, 2p every single time you post.
Mm-hmm.
You just have a wallet like you would normally on your online shop.
Yeah.
And like a penny, 2 penny, you just donate, and it just goes to a charity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that whole concept is a concept that's never been done before, and it will grow in its time when it's grown.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's talking to influencers and everything at the moment to try and get that growth. So that's a whole new platform.
And there's Parler coming back as well soon.
Exactly. There's so many new up and coming apps and social media. Like, look at all the apps that we've discovered for video editing and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we've edited on our phone more than we have on our computer.
Well, people will think, like, we have got the Creative Cloud. We've got all of Photoshop and all of the apps and
all
stuff.
Adobe. And we do use it.
But how much do we use it, though?
Not as much as I thought we would have to.
So people think,
you know what I mean?
To make videos or be a creator, you must have a really good editing computer to be editing your videos on and stuff like that. But really, the thing that's been in your pocket all along that you didn't even realise can even render videos faster than a really fast laptop.
Yeah. I mean,
So
don't get me wrong, if you went out
on
and
your
got
phone.
if you went out and got an all specking, all singing, all dancing computer, fair enough, right? But the average person hasn't got the capability to go and spend $2,000 on a computer.
Yeah, but you can do everything that most of the things that you can do on the computer, you can do on your phone with like a couple of you pay for the app.
Mm-hmm.
You can even make really good videos on the free versions of the apps. But then it's something like if you pay like £6 a month, you can join them, and then there's all sorts of, and it's all at the push of a button.
Yeah.
Instead of like when you go on Photoshop and Premiere Pro and stuff like that, it's like there's so many doors within doors and stuff on there, and it's not as accessible.
No.
But if you download a quick app on your phone, like it makes everything easier.
Well, even like chroma keying, like we figured out we could chroma key on our phone.
On your phone,
and it changed our lives.
Yeah,
because instead of having to sit there and set up the camera, make sure the lighting's sorted, blah 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 blah. It's a case of pick up your phone.
And your phone has not got a bad camera. All you have to do is go into your settings, change it to the high spec that your camera. Delete all the pictures so you got some space. Like they get uploaded to Google Drive and all sorts of stuff, or whatever you're using. There'll be a drive that they get uploaded to. Yeah. So you can take really high spec pictures and video with just your mobile phone with a 10 megapixel camera
without going and spending £3,000.
No, and that's just changing a few settings on your phone, because it comes as standard as a certain thing, but you can scale it up. Obviously you're going to be using gigs if you start going too high, but a video that's going to go on to YouTube is 1080. Most people render their videos at 720, so like you don't even have to worry.
No. But what we'll probably end up doing as well is we're going to do a bit of a video on some of the apps that we've basically used, so you guys have got access to them as well, and
we just want to share.
Give them a bit of a walkthrough, so that if you've got a wicked computer that can do all the editing and everything on, and it's something that you want to do, then Fair enough.
But don't let it hold you back. Like, don't think that you have to have this wicked setup and everything, because you don't.
No.
You can make do with what you got, and you can get your platform going on minimal things.
Yeah.
As long as you know where to look. Like, if you can't do something on the computer because it's too slow, you're like, can my phone do it? YouTube. Yeah. Someone's tried this before.
Yeah.
So you don't even.
Well, it's
you,
like we
you just get on the
upload,
breadcrumb trail, don't you? Really?
Yeah. Like, your phone can't do everything though, because like we tried to upload a video to Instagram earlier on, didn't we? And it wouldn't let us. But we went on to the computer and we figured out a way after watching a quick YouTube video how to do it.
Yeah.
And we did it.
Yeah.
But your phone wouldn't let you do that. I don't know for what reason. It might be due to the settings or whatever. But so there is certain things that you need a computer for, but it's not a necessity to start out with.
No.
You know what I mean? You can do as long as you've got a relatively up-to-date phone and you can download apps, you can pretty much sort whatever you want out. I mean, you can live stream off your phone as well. You don't need to have a camera set up like we are or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you can just live stream directly from your phone.
Anywhere.
Yeah, wherever you are. As long as you've got an internet signal, that's it. That's all you need. So I think it was just important to let people know that's the case. So we're definitely going to do one of those tutorial videos, whether we do it like in separate ones. So we'll do like an app or whatever, like a video app or whatever.
If you follow, then we'll be uploading it all to the creative platform, won't we?
Yeah.
So if you follow
on Facebook and YouTube,
follow our page, and then that's where you'll find the tutorial videos. We'll put it in a separate playlist so you know where to find it, and then hopefully that'll do some good for some people.
Yeah. Because we just want to show people that social media is good.
Well, everything's possible as long as you're willing to overcome every hurdle.
Because I think we touched on this on our first podcast about, you know, using social media to your advantage rather than using your phone to your advantage rather than your phone control you. I know we spoke about that, but I think it's important that people understand that, especially with social media, if you are a person that goes on social media all a lot, like all the time, then you might as well be making money out of social media rather than social media making money out of you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you've got a full-time job. If you check your phone more than 10 times a day, you've got time.
You could be making money.
To be making money off it.
On something.
Off something. Whatever it is.
Even if it's buying and selling on Amazon.
Yeah.
As long as you've got time to learn how to do it.
And let's be honest, at the moment, everybody's got time. You know, even if you're working from home from an office and you're working in a virtual call centre, you're still sat there. And when your phone's waiting to be rang or whatever answered, you're still sat there with your phone in your hand.
Yeah, you are.
You know what I mean? So you've still got the capability to just whack a bit quick post out or whatever. I mean, even things like vlogging and, you know, they've kind of disappeared, but like podcasts have become like a new thing and vlogging's kind of disappeared. But like, there was plenty of people, and there's still plenty of people who do it.
You can get on with what you're doing and just listen.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're vlogging, they're usually showing you like what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's more accessible to just listen to a podcast.
Yeah. You know, we're eventually going to release this on places like Amazon and Google and all that lot, so you can just listen to the audio directly rather than having to watch the video. So if you're in your car or whatever and you're bored and you don't want to listen to the radio because they play the same song 100 times in a day, then and you want to listen to us for some ungodly no reason, then then you can. You've got that capability.
We do sometimes say good stuff, don't we?
I think so. I hope
sometimes.
But no, it's definitely something they needed talking about. And you know what we're probably going to do as well is keep up to date with social media. So when we find out new things that's going on and on various different platforms or whatever, we'll probably do another podcast at the end of the month or something and tell people a little bit more about
as we grow on our platform, we'll share with everybody else. Gives everyone a fair chance.
Yeah.
And obviously there's going to be people that already know what they're doing, so obviously just go ahead.
Yeah.
If you don't, You can just watch.
You don't know unless you try.
Yeah.
And that's all we've done. We've just tried.
Yeah, every
so
time
far it's
something
working.
gets in the way, like, oh, well, our PC isn't good enough for this. Fall back on your phone. Simple as that.
What would you say, what would you say is a benefit of moving your business online? Like, let me give you an example. I think, like, clothes shops are too easy. Do you know what I mean? Like, to move a clothes shops online is pretty much, you just set up a shop.
I think the
Let's say you're a pub owner and you've been a pub owner for 20 years.
So I think the main benefit to moving or creating your page or your business on a page is that Facebook or whoever can work for you while you're asleep, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
You can actually just go to sleep, and in the background, you can set up Facebook and other social media platforms, even to release your content whenever you want.
Yeah.
So you can come in on a Monday, whatever, load up your laptop, set up all your content throughout the week to go out with certain ads and everything, and then you could just shut it, let that work for you, and carry on with something else.
Yeah. Which is why I still think
that's the main benefit for me.
I think a lot of people have this, and I hear a lot of entrepreneurs say this, like, don't quit your 9 to 5 until you're making an income that's above your 9 to 5 from your part-time.
Yeah.
So when people say that they don't have time to do it, it's like, well, if you get home at 5 o'clock, most people have dinner, put the TV on.
If you got
go
kids,
to bed, and have
take your kids to bed.
Family time or whatever. But you can create an hour in your day to dedicate to your business, not someone else's, but yours. Just an hour. And if you did that consecutively for, say, 6 months, you'd have a business.
You just got to have faith in yourself, haven't you?
And you need the tools to be able to do it, don't you?
Yeah, but you can build them up over time. You just have to you buy a tool that's going to work for you, that's going to enable you to get the next one.
Yeah.
And it even if it's tiny steps, you're still making a step forward every single time.
I seen a quote the other day, and it was like, why is it that people will quite happily work 30 years in the same job, but they won't, but after 2 years they give up on their own business because they think it won't work? Like, I don't understand that.
It's feeling
psychology.
safe.
Yeah, it is.
Getting to a safe place.
Yeah.
And thinking, I'm comfortable now. This company knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they're not going to go bust.
Yeah.
So I'll feel safe. But with how the world's gone now, that's completely flipped. No one is safe.
No. Not even managing directors or CEOs of companies or whatever.
They
like
just wake up and
everybody's.
it's like, we're closing it down.
Yep.
It was 2 jobs your sister had. Both closed down.
Yep. Within the space of like 3 months.
And she must have thought, I've got 2. Like, there's no way this can happen to me. Like, totally different companies.
Yep.
Both gone.
Yep. I mean, but that's job security hasn't been a thing for many, many years. Like, but it's more prominent now that job security isn't a thing than it ever has been. You know. I mean, you've not even like, I was thinking about this the other day, like manufacturing industry, right? One of my uncle's mates works at DHL, and he's been going to work throughout the whole entire lockdown, right?
Yeah.
And they've had a mass influx of people coming to work for them, and they've had more and more people and more jobs and whatever. But what they've found is they've started to release people because there was a mass rush because everybody was ordering online.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where people realised this might not go back to normal, so we need to save the money that we have.
Yeah.
And they've stopped buying stuff online. So now what's happened is the people that they've given these jobs to boost it, those jobs are being lost because
so you got a job 1 minute and the next minute
Yeah.
everything changes because of the way everything's gone.
Yeah.
So you've got to sort of start making a plan for yourself, haven't you?
And I think
a contingency plan.
The only industry that's probably not been affected and has probably grown is social media. It's the only logical one because it's the only one that's not got a physical presence anywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, even like in, let's say, Facebook's head office in London,
Mm-hmm.
right? They might not have employed anyone more, but they would have not fired anyone because there's been more demand for social media.
Yeah.
Because everyone's at home more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everyone's got more and more access to the internet and whatever. So
But
it's
that's
just
where
easier.
the jobs will be popping up.
Yeah.
It'll be to do with social media,
Yeah.
so you got to be ready for that. And
Which is why the next generation that are learning, like you said, like coding and everything in school,
yeah, they're already ready for it.
they're the jobs that are going to be
You got to
that
think
people want to go to.
in the next 30 years,
Mm-hmm.
where we're going to be then.
Yeah.
There's already self-service, like
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go to America, you've got Amazon,
Yeah.
which is literally they don't have anyone working in the shop. You go in, it scans your phone at the door.
Mm-hmm.
You go in, it has pressure sensors on all the products. You pick it up, it automatically gets added to your basket on your phone.
that's
and you
already a
walk
thing.
out. That's already a thing. Yeah, they've got like 10,
You'll have to
15
show
shops in
me at some
America.
point.
Oh, well, yeah. It's already a thing.
Jeez.
So they don't have checkouts. The only thing they do have, which will get changed because the robots will do it, is
Yeah.
people packing the shelves. But you don't even check out. You just walk out
No,
the
'cause you
shop
get a
and it takes it
forklift
straight out. Yeah,
What, to
Yeah.
stack all the
To stack
shelves
all
and
your
then do
shelves.
it neater
Yeah.
than a human would as well.
and faster and cost you less.
And they'll moan less.
But that's what I mean.
Oh, me back.
Like you said, like really. But if
My
you look at
back.
if you look at technology, like if you go into Sainsbury's or Morrison's or Asda or whatever, and you go to the self checkout, 9
Yeah.
times out of 10 there's a problem when you get to the till.
Yeah.
The till's either not working or whatever. So we're
Yeah.
there, but we're not quite there.
No.
You know what I mean?
But we're
But
not
it
far
won't be
off.
long until that's that. Just like look at Tesla. Perfect
But
example.
there won't be a shop though, will there? You got to even think further than that.
No, yeah,
Why
there
would
won't.
there be
There's
a
no
shelf
need.
to stack when there's a
Yeah.
warehouse
Yeah.
and then drones to drop your shopping off?
But this is what I mean. Like, there's already been YouTubers go and work for like Uber Eats and everything, and video themselves doing Uber Eats with a drone and just sitting at home, and the drone picking it up from McDonald's, taking it, dropping it off.
Yeah, and
That's already a thing,
The
like-
drone, the controller, like my son's drone, his controller is just like an Xbox One.
Yeah. So,
from a very young age,
You
he's
learn
going to be
how to
able
do
to
it.
fly a drone better
Yeah.
than I can
exactly.
because he's already been flying flipping attack helicopters on COD or whatever,
And
and it's the same sort
Yeah.
of controls.
which will not only go because of that, but it will also go because less emissions, which means there's less cars on the road, less traffic on the road, less bikes on the road, less public on the road because everyone's staying at home. So congestions will go down, which means pollution will go down, which means global warming will slow down. So there's multiple different genres of people that would want to push that idea
Yeah,
and help it go because
Yeah,
of
definitely.
everything, all the pros that are going to come from it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's like you said, it's a logical way to go. Like, what's the point in having a shop when you can order ketchup from Amazon? And
yeah.
will come
Already, I'm speculating.
later.
I'm cancelling so many jobs, and
Yeah.
I'm not happy with it. But it's the only logical sort of way to go.
It is.
I can't see any different way to go.
You just have to get with it, whatever that is. You know, go on YouTube and learn how to fly a drone.
Yeah.
You don't even have to have a drone. Just watch how to fly a drone.
But how
and
long
then
is
buy
that
one.
going to be a thing before it's just you press the button on the drone, or you give the drone just its directive in the morning and
it will
it
do itself.
delivers to wherever it comes back to the depot, goes off and delivers, comes back. So
Yeah.
is that even a thing?
Probably not. I mean, it might be for a little bit until the next generation and then the next generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's always stages, isn't it?
But I mean, they're on about sending men to Mars in the next 10 years, so...
I know, start buying your slots on Mars. We keep
Yeah.
saying that, don't
Yeah,
we?
we're going to buy one.
But that's
Yeah,
where we're going to
definitely buy one.
broadcast, like, in the future, aren't we?
Well, when we get Elon Musk on the show,
You can take us there.
Yeah.
You can take us there.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Cheers, dude.
No worries. But, no, like, it's crazy. So if you think at the end of the day, we'll probably go to Mars in the next 10 years. And like I said in the last podcast, like, the space station's got better Wi-Fi than what we've got here,
Yeah.
which is crazy. So technology is there. It's definitely there. It's just we've got to catch up with it. You know, like for example, if you look at like BT and everybody putting fibre optics in, blah blah blah. Within another 5 years, they'll be digging all the roads up again to take all the cable out to put a new cable in.
But 5G is a thing as well, like.
Yeah,
So they're obviously preparing for something.
yeah,
Like, basically preparing for what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to need more servers, like faster internet for everybody that's
Everybody.
going to start converting their business online.
yeah. And they need to be able to keep up with that demand.
Yeah.
Especially social media platforms, because if their servers start to slow down, then people will move on to a different platform and they'll lose that. I think that's the only way a social media platform could probably go bust, is if they couldn't keep up with the demand that people were asking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever platform that way.
But whatever we're speculating about now, they've already speculated it in a room full of suits, so they already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I
just think it'd be interesting to find out. I think you know when I was younger, when I was like in school, I used to say, "Oh, I was born in the wrong generation. Like, I wish I was born like 30 years younger, where the world was so much more free and you could get away with this and do that and do this."
Yeah.
Now, like, I've completely changed my perspective. Now it's just like, I couldn't imagine living in a different world because of how much our lives, especially our generation, has changed. Like, we've gone through everything.
Yeah, being born in the 90s is a really interesting time to have been born.
Yeah. Like, late 80s, early 90s. It's like we've gone from the normal school system to first computers, first phone, internet, mobile phones, computers, gaming computers, social media. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've gone through all of that.
Yeah, even with gaming.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, gone from Sega Master System to, like, what we've got now.
Where you can play a game
now
online.
Now you've got Stadia, you know what I mean?
You don't even have to have
You just need a screen.
Yeah. And you just play on someone else's computer.
You don't even need a high-end computer.
No.
All you need is a 5G connection.
Yeah, that's it. And that'll be the way forward with that, which means PlayStation, Xbox, everything like that.
Yeah, at the minute, Stadia is not doing well, but it will, because it stops the need for constant upgrades.
Yeah.
Stadia will do all the upgrades for you.
The only thing that might change that is if the other gaming platforms find that and go, do you know what, we don't want this, so we're going to buy you.
Xbox and PlayStation have an answer to it, I think, at the minute, but I don't think they've run as good as Stadia does. It's kind of flying under the radar at the minute, but from when I first started with Stadia, like, where they've come now, like, in a short period of time, with hardly any noticeable lag, like, this is playing at 60 FPS, like, 4K, and you can't really tell. And all you need is a controller and a screen.
Yeah.
Or a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I can't do a keyboard and mouse. I'm not a keyboard warrior. I'm more of a, give me a PlayStation controller, bro.
Yeah. Well, I can do everything.
No, because
I never said. Do you know why? Because I never said I can't.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I was like.
I used to be able to play thingy. Good old Age of Empires and all that lot.
Oh yeah.
Can you remember
strategy like that?
Can you remember Rayman?
Rayman.
Can you remember that's a throwback?
Remember?
Does anyone
remember Spyro?
If you remember Rayman? Put it in the Spyro.
Remember, guys? Remember?
Croc.
Oh, Croc. Oh.
Croc. Yeah. There was loads of good games.
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, but they've made new ones. It is mad. Like, you remember like floppy disks? Like, I used to have Looney Tunes on floppy disks.
I thought he was going to say floppy dicks there.
Floppy disks.
So did you, didn't you? What?
But I used to have them on them. Like they used to put them into the computer. You remember the old dial-up? The old sound
in the computer. Yeah.
Remember you used to plug it in like doo-doo-doo. Remember?
Remember dial-up?
Yeah.
You always know when your parents are going on the internet because you pick up the phone and it's like,
yeah.
You're like, what? Hello, who is this? No, you will not. Sorry, I don't speak, robot.
I know. And you'd only be allowed like an hour because it'd like go on the phone bill, and your parents would be like, you can't go in it more than an hour. But I need to do my homework. Sat there playing The Sims.
We've gone through dial-up, bro.
I know.
We've gone through The Sims, bro.
I know. From 1 to 6, bro.
My kids will never know the pain of an old school. Actually, there's all ROMs now, so you can go back and play all the games. But
kids these days will never understand.
Yeah, but anytime I try and play an old game, like say Sonic, my son doesn't want to know. It
was like Age of Empires, wasn't it? We downloaded Age of Empires, which was an old like strategy game on my new laptop, right? And it wouldn't run. And I was like, how did it used to run on
in 1998, bro?
It was like 98.
Yeah, and then we tried to put it on your flipping Argos computer.
Yeah, no.
Windows 10.
Yeah.
And then all it did is go like we tried to launch and it was like, bruh.
Not happening. That broke the computer.
you cannot play this. We're like, wait a minute, I used to play this in 1998 on a computer that I made from fucking computers from Skips.
Yeah. What do you mean I can't play on it now?
And I had to load the fucker on floppy disks. Discs. Yeah, you had to load it on that, and then like sometimes if you wanted to play it, you had to put that in, and then be like.
Can you remember can you remember Walkmans? You used to have to carry the CD player around with the headphones.
Yeah, but nothing lasted very long.
And they used to fit in your pocket, but your pockets were never big enough for them to fit in. So you used to have to get a little man bag, and it was an excuse to have a man bag because you thought you were proper cool.
Yeah, but then they started getting smaller and slimmer.
Yeah. And then iPod came out and ruined
No,
everything.
not even that. It was CD players, and you tried
Oh no, it was
to put
MP3s.
Yeah, it was.
They were the ones that came out, weren't they?
Them little sticks that you can only have 10 songs on, so
Yeah.
you had to choose wisely. Well, that was me because I was poor. So.
Yeah, and then did you know? You know the iPod that came out? That was a deal between Apple and Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
There's one for you. Yeah, it was there because he just started making headphones.
Yeah.
And he made a deal with Apple, and they basically came up with this idea so you could stream your music. So Dr. Dre's a person responsible for music streaming. So
he's a very intelligent guy, though.
He's a very rich, intelligent person.
With his beats and
yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he did. Definitely.
Yeah.
But it just shows you how far that we've come and how far, we've got so much further to go. And the internet was one thing and social media is the next thing.
Yeah.
And we know social media's been around for ages, but not in the content that it is now.
Yeah, just think back to dial-up. Like I said, it's come so far from when we were young.
I mean, even like, we've got a lady downstairs, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
That she runs a charity over in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants us to do like live woodworking lessons and stuff, doesn't she?
Yeah, she
with
does.
the kids in Africa.
Yeah.
So they've got a school that these kids go to school in Zambia.
Yes.
Which means that in order for us to do a video call with them, they have to have access to the internet.
Yeah.
And relatively decent access to the internet, which, 10 years ago you would never have thought that a country like Zambia, which is classed as a third world country.
She's part of a charity. He's opening a school over there.
Yeah.
So they're going to start live streaming straight to the school. So she's providing access to the internet, but it's something they desperately need.
Yeah, of course it is.
'Cause they
And
haven't
it'll
got
progress those countries so fast. You know what I mean? Like, even if you look at India now, like when you ring call centres, and it's been like this for ages, but even if you speak to like social media platforms and everything, like that, most of them or all the call centres are pretty much run from India.
Yeah.
Because India got access to the internet quite early on, and they've just picked it up and gone with it. And that's one of their major industries in India is online tech.
Yeah.
Same with China.
Everyone.
But there's plenty of people that are still really far behind.
Yeah.
But which is why it's crazy that the internet's only going to get bigger. And especially for like we were saying with businesses and everything, like marketing, to go online is you have a never-ending supply of people. Like, it's not like you have a footfall in your shop of 50 people a day. You've got 50 million people probably at every minute are on the internet.
Yeah.
And if you can take 1% of that, or 0.5% of that population that are on the internet at one time to what
Well, if you
product
hashtag
is,
at the right moment in time, you've done it.
Yeah.
Because
That's all you
then,
need.
just at that moment, everyone clicked that hashtag.
But I think that's going into kind of like luck, and I think like what.
Yeah, but
what
you got to
people
be in it
used
to win
say-
it, bro.
Yeah. What like I hate the term of, oh, you're an overnight sensation or whatever. You know what I mean?
Coffee me, baby.
Nothing happens overnight.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know what I mean? Like, literally nothing.
Some of these people that are really big now have been at it for years with different names, different channels, but what they realised is if it's not working, they're willing to change until they find what does work.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to realise if something isn't working, you got to try something else.
Yeah.
But not always. You got. It's an hard one, really, isn't it? What would you say about that? Because sometimes you need to stick with the thing a bit longer.
I think that's the point with social
I'll spill
media.
it, bro. If I put it down, you know.
you stick to, well, like we said at the start of the podcast, like, be yourself.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you're being self, it doesn't matter if you change, because people will understand that, all right, he's changed, but you're still you.
But they've been on a journey with you then, haven't they?
Well, it's kind of why we said that on the first podcast, like, especially, you know, like gamers and podcasts and stuff, the people that are viewing your content expect a certain criteria, right? And if you don't give them that criteria, they'll disperse.
Yeah, so say you build
your criteria about that. Do you know what I mean? Make it about you, so people come to watch you, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, and sometimes you play Minecraft.
Exactly.
Sometimes you're singing. Whatever. People still tune in.
Because they want to listen to you, not they want to watch Fortnite.
Mm-hmm. But if you do go in as you, like you're saying, you've got that scope to change anyway.
Yeah.
So you don't base your thing behind somebody else's creation.
Yeah. You have to base it
because then you're always in a backlog of trying to wait for them for content until you can make yours.
Yeah. And I also think, like, I don't know, I feel people might think that nobody can create anything new. Like, everything's been created.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't think that's true. Like, there's so many, like, I don't know when I'm going to come up with an idea now that'll make us $1 million, but it only takes one idea, and it's whether you're going to run with it or go, oh, that
we've got a rule of original thought of the day, haven't we?
Yeah.
Because one day, you never know. You just got to try, haven't you?
Sometimes
they come up.
Here's one for you, and I thought about this ages ago, and at the moment there is certain people doing it, but not in the way that I'm going to describe. So you know how at the moment everybody's buying food and everything online, right? Let's say you want to get sausages, bacon and eggs from Aldi because it's cheaper than Asda, but you also like Asda's cheese and Asda's homemade pizza, right? That means that you've got to go on Asda, you've got to do a shop on Asda, then you've got to come off Asda, then you've got to get a shop on Aldi, then you've got to come off that. You've probably got delivery times that are different, and to wait for slots and everything like that.
Yeah.
I don't understand why no one's created a platform yet where they can just go and order all of them from all the different supermarkets on the same place.
Yeah.
Like,
and it finds the cheapest straight away.
Exactly.
It's just I want these lion eggs.
But somebody's argument to that would be, but why would supermarkets let you do it? And the reason why is because
it's a backwards monopoly.
Yeah, well, it's
we spoke about this before, isn't it?
We have, yeah.
So that's why they're not going to go for it, because then they have to undercut each other.
But they do and they don't, because let's say you like the sausages from Aldi and I like the sausages from Lidl, right?
That's when they push their own brands then.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Right? But because they're all on that platform, the customer has the choice to do that. You know what I mean? But they're already getting advertisement because they're on that website.
But if it was like you like Richmond and both places do it, you'd have to undercut the other guy to get the sale. So you see how that snowballs backwards.
But would you with the volume?
Ask Asda, ring them, get them on the line.
Hello,
I'm calling just to can I pitch you an idea? See if you like it.
Ding, ding.
They'll be like, get the fuck out of my office.
But this is what I mean about ideas. Like, everybody has ideas all the time, every single day. You know, it's probably one of the things, and it's something that I'm definitely going to do. And it might sound a bit weird, but I want to get a journal. Yeah. And I want to put it next to my bed. Because the amount of times I wake up in the middle of the night and I've got a good idea, and then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what was that idea?
Do you know what I do?
You know what I mean?
I've got voice note after voice note after voice note in my phone. So if I have like a spur of the moment idea, even if it's at night, when I think I'm going to forget it in the morning, even if I'm like, no, Matt, you'll remember. I just do a voice note, or I do a little sketch in like notes.
Yeah.
You just scroll that way on your phone and you can quickly put some notes in.
Yeah.
Because inspiration can happen to you like at any time.
Especially when you're dreaming.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always bloody dreaming.
Like we said, didn't we? That we speak about this all the time. Use your sleep time to develop your mind even more. Don't use it as just, I'm going to sleep. Like, your brain will sleep, but it can also be creative, and it can consume as well.
It can
That's why they always say to you, if you're going to learn a language, put headphones on and fall asleep.
Yeah.
Because you consume more when you're asleep, because your brain hasn't got anything else to think about apart from what it's listening to. You might not think that you're listening to it, but then randomly in conversation it will come up and it'll be like, oh, I remembered that from that podcast that I listened to, and I was asleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because your brain takes it in more.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when you're a kid and you haven't got so much information in your head, that's when they like learn a new language.
Yeah.
Because your brain isn't full with all these, you know, with society and all this other information that's useless that you put in over time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a filtration system. You've just got to filter it the right way.
Yeah, it's up to you, really, isn't it?
It's like I've seen this example used before where they've been like, let's say you've got a jar. I'll probably do this as a video, but let's say you've got a jar, right? And in that jar, let's say you put a load of marbles in, right? You'd ask that person, you'd be like, would you say that was full? So you fill the marbles all the way to the top of the jar, and the person would say, yeah, it's full, right? And you go, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. And then let's say you put in sand.
Yeah.
And you'd fill sand all the way around the marbles, blah, 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 and you'd be like, right, that's full now, isn't it? And you go, yeah. And then you add water. Mm-hmm. And then you go, is that full? And they go, yeah. And you go, right. But there's always something you can add. Yeah. But you also, once you've added that water, you then need to think to yourself, right, that's full. It is actually full
There's
now.
nothing more.
So now I need to release something from that. Yeah. So that's when you'd go in and you'd take up the big information, like the marbles, and you'd remove that. Yeah. And you'd fill it with more sand and fill it with more water or whatever those, you know, in theories are. But I don't think people do that enough. I don't think people know how to. I mean, it's something
but this
that
is
I've
where you
only
can
really
get social media
to
to sort of work for you in the background. Yeah. And it does all its, like, say you're putting a hashtag in on Facebook at the minute. If you put a hashtag in, underneath it will tell you how many views that hashtag gets it. Yeah. And so you can choose which hashtag to use.
Yeah. Like you might have like podcast, which has got like 300 million likes.
310 billion million likes.
And then you might have podcast with a tick next to it that's got 2,000. Yeah. More people are likely to see your post if you tag in podcast with a tick than they are trying to compete with 3 million.
Yeah, but then the information's accessible right there for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, all you have to do is just use it.
Well, it's even like us. Like we've created 3 hashtags. Yeah. That nobody else has had. That nobody else. Well, I mean, they can use it, but they're
original
not relevant.
fall of the day. Yeah.
But they're not relevant to anybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. We are the only people that post on those hashtags. So now, if we were to advertise a hashtag, that hashtag would then go trending, but all of our videos, photos, whatever information would be on.
We own the majority of that hashtag because we've been using it from day. Yeah.
You know, which I mean, hashtags 5 years ago, what were they? They weren't even a thing.
I think you've taught me a lot about hashtags.
Well, I've taught myself as well. Yeah. I've watched probably 3-4 hours worth of YouTube videos on hashtags. Yeah. And how to develop a hashtag and also how to find the right hashtags that will work for you. You know what I mean? It's even like when I showed you that video earlier on about how Instagram and Facebook are moving forward with Instagram's becoming more of a search engine. Yeah. So you go on Instagram and you want to look at the Eiffel Tower, you type in the search bar Eiffel Tower. Mm-hmm. Anybody that has put in their caption Eiffel Tower and a hashtag Eiffel Tower will come up on that search. Just like if you went on Google. Yeah. It's exactly the same thing. If you went to Google Images and you typed in Eiffel Tower, anyone that's posted a picture of the Eiffel Tower on Google will come up there. You know what I mean? But the more you use that hashtag, like the more you just use that same product. So like podcast, for example, the more we use that over and over and over again, the higher up you will go. Because Instagram and Facebook see it as this person is promoting that one thing. Yeah. So we're going to push them forward so more people can see their content because they like the content. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Also, if you work on the background a bit, say you live stream and you work on the background a bit, social media has come so far that it knows what you've got in the background. Yeah. Yeah. It can recognise everything. Yeah. Like, that's a this is that.
So if you were to hashtag microphone, cups, wooden ashtray, foam things, guitars, podcast side.
Yeah, it'll accept that. It'll be like, that's all in the frame. Yeah. So, they can have that. Yeah. So it's like, you have to be smart with your hashtags as well, don't you? Because you can't really say you're doing one thing and then do another thing with hashtags and just fill up loads of hashtags that aren't relevant, because you'll get penalised for that as well. If you think that's a good way to go, you have to kind of balance it out, don't you? You can't just go over the top, like, I'm going to hashtag everything and one day my picture or whatever it might be will trend, because you
think that's what I mean by
you get
like
shadow banned for basically taking the piss, because all they see is you're trying to have your hands in too many pies and you're being greedy. So you got to kind of find that balance and also make sure your hashtags are relevant to what you're talking about. You can't just randomly hashtag something in because you know it's going to get views. Because you'll get shadow banned.
Like, you could go on TikTok and see all the trending hashtags on TikTok. Make a video to do one of those trending TikToks and just sit there and wait for it to go trending.
But by all means, you can use that knowledge to make a TikTok.
Of course you can.
So you can be allowed access to the hashtags. So you see what's trending at the minute and you make a video that's trending all the hashtags. You can hashtag all the trending hashtags into it. So you have to be smart about it.
But you just don't take the piss.
Because also you'll be penalised for that. It's like when you do a Facebook ad and you try and put a whole continent on there, scroll down to the bottom for your ads and they'll penalise you for doing that. You've got to be more selective. And they'll help you. If you're less, you can't just be greedy with it. You have to pick a medium where sort of Facebook agrees and then stay there.
I think it's why it's important for businesses to understand how that works. Not necessarily just hashtags, but how social media works, because it's a case of there's a lot of businesses out there that has probably been running but not online, or just got a website and just kind of leave it to its own devices and check it every now and again. And if they get any...
But they're not getting any traffic through.
Exactly, because they don't know how to. Or they know how to, but they're not willing to put in the time to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, there's plenty of like influencers and everything out there that say, in order to be successful on like Instagram, Facebook and everything, you have to make it not a full-time job, but you have to be able to set a certain amount of time aside to
understand it,
communicate with the people that are following your channel. Because if you don't, then people will be like, well, what makes you so special?
You just watch it. You don't build up a connection with anybody, do you?
No, you don't.
It's just me and you sat here talking, ignoring you like you're not even here.
But it's important. But like for us, for example, like after the live video, we'll probably look at the comments, reply to the people that need to. When we upload the video to Facebook and YouTube and everything, people commenting it or whatever, we'll reply to them. You know, but you have to do that. But then also it's about creating a community. So you'd go on to other podcasts on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and you'd watch some of their stuff. You'd comment on them. You'd give them a like.
You can see if you can help each other out.
Exactly. You know. And that's what it's about.
It's not about trying to... Some people might think, maybe I can go for this big creator and one day he will notice my message. Instead of looking at someone that's coming up that's doing something similar, where you can help each other out. Or maybe their business can help your business and your business can help theirs. Instead of like trying to hit and hope with these big companies that aren't even going to take notice of you.
It's why Facebook are trying to do that... I think it's is it brand collaboration or something like that, where basically what they're doing is they're creating a new platform. So I think it's 1,000 followers on your page and 15,000 hours of views. What they do is they give you access to like a platform with all the different brands. So anybody that's anybody on Facebook that's an influencer, you can basically collab with their brand. So they can say to you, if you put an advertisement on your Facebook podcast page, whatever, then we'll pay you this amount of revenue, and then we'll do the same to you. And you can have as many of these affiliate brands as you want, and Facebook will help you do that, so that they're getting people to work with each other rather than against each other. Because I think, like, especially like you said with social media, like that's been happening for years. There's been like, you know, an influencer, let's say there's 10 influencers, none of them have really worked together. They've worked against each other to see who can get the most subscribers, to see who can do this, blah blah blah. But now what's happening is these influencers have started working together, which is why you've
collabing. Well, you see Jason Derulo and you see Will Smith, and they're both collabing now.
Exactly.
Like before, Jason Derulo, I think he went missing. Where did you go, bruh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bruh.
But you see him all the time.
But
like,
now
on
he's on TikTok and he's on all these other social medias.
Same with Will Smith and like
Will Smith,
what's his name?
Gordon Ramsay. He's everywhere.
Yeah. Who's that? Not new musician. He's been around for ages. That he did that song with. Is it Jonah Lucas?
I think so.
He did that song with Will Smith. He did that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song. I think it is Jonah Lucas.
Do you know what? You'll
I'll
have to show me because I
think
haven't
it is.
even watched
I think
that.
you've heard it as well.
Probably.
But you know, like there was even like Dax. There's a reaction channel, an American guy, and he's been reacting to he reacts to everything. But then he did a collab, a reaction with Dax on Dax's new track when he released his new track, and he was the first person to listen to the new track.
I think I've
Dax
seen that.
Used it to promote himself because he
Yeah.
understood that this person does reaction videos. There's loads of people that watch his channel, so let me help him, and he will help me by bringing me new people to my.
Yeah, so it's sort of like don't be a dick, basically. If you
just
do
help each
get
other
that
out.
high, like if someone wants to react to you, don't copyright strike them because they're bringing more viewers to your platform.
Yeah.
So instead of being a dick and going no mine, just let them because you're going to reach further.
I think, like, let's say you've got two businesses that are the same, that have gone online at the same time, right? They're more likely to succeed if they help each other out than they are both going their own ways. You know what I mean?
Staying true to life, like
Exactly.
two humans are more likely to succeed at something, if they help.
Because there's
each
always
other
one
out.
pushing the other.
Yeah.
But it's healthy competition, and you don't
And it's better
have
than
healthy
one. I
competition
always
these
say,
days.
like, two minds are better than one.
Yeah.
In any situation. So, two businesses hand in hand helping each other out is better than one. Stay LinkedIn, bruh.
That's another platform.
Bruh.
LinkedIn, bruh.
Bruh.
It's a good platform.
It is, yeah.
It's a great platform, especially for businesses that don't really have an online presence but want to get known.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people use LinkedIn for like hiring and whatever. But if you create a good LinkedIn page, it gives you a good boost into the business world, and you can link.
Well,
with
that's a
people
platform
that
with
are
everybody
not quite
helping
there.
each other out, just
Yeah.
doing what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think that's what you're going to see with like Facebook and everything coming soon.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
this is what they basically trying to do with the branding is to get people to work together, because they've realised they can make more money by getting people to work together, because the people that work together will make more money.
Everybody likes to see a good collab, though, don't they?
A what?
Good collaboration. Everybody does.
No matter what it is, it's healthier as well. It's healthy for society to do
It's
that,
good
because
to
like
see
we've said,
that's spreading positivity as well. It's making
Yeah.
people smile. So.
but like we said, like people have been moaning that social media are pulling people further and further apart. So I think social media have realised and gone, okay, now let's get rid of that excuse for negativity and
bring
let's bring
everyone
people back together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that-
Facebook was set up as the social network, right? But it became antisocial because people weren't spending time with family, friends, and everything.
Yeah.
What they were doing was they were just being on Facebook, scrolling, looking at newsfeed,
Being
whatever.
a troll.
Now you've got things like Facebook Live, and
Yeah.
you've got things like Zoom or whatever that you can contact each other.
Trying to
through.
change the narrative, really, aren't they?
Yeah. And I think that's important, and it's something that's going to
But I've
continue to change.
I've been on both sides of that fence as well. So
What consumer and creator?
Yeah. I've been on both sides.
I'd say I'm probably at this precise moment like 60-40 creator,
Yeah.
and I probably was about 80-20 consumer about 6 months ago. You know what I mean? But now I know that if I at night, instead of going onto YouTube and watching,
Because there is a good balance. You still need to enjoy yourself and enjoy life.
you have to, yeah.
You can't just become a cyborg and be like algorithms everywhere and have that moment where there's like floating algorithms.
Because I also think like that. I think our generation have realised this more than like let's say our parents' generation, is that our parents kind of lived in this mindset of we'll work really, really, really hard, and then we're old and we can retire and we'll relax then.
Yeah.
We've all kind of understood that that's fine, but why are you going to work 40 years to have maybe 10?
Yeah.
Why would that makes no sense?
You need to enjoy all of them.
Do it the other way around. Work
Yeah.
really, 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 really hard for 10 years
Yeah.
to then spend the next 50 living your life.
Doing what you want.
Doing what you want to do. You know what I mean? And I think that's why you're seeing less and less people going into industries. And you're seeing more people going into the creative sector. Because, especially online, like social media, because it's accessible.
Yeah.
If you're willing to put in the work in the hour, you'll be rewarded for that that time. You know what I mean? And I don't think there's many platforms there's many industries out there that are like that.
It's a good way to monitor your time as well, because there's all the footage that you can look back on, so you can keep a close eye on what you're doing.
Yeah, because I think, you know, like me and you, we've both worked our way up in companies, and we've both got to what we would class near the top, right? And you know, when you're involved in that environment, it's a horrible environment to be in whatever sector you are, because you're going against other people, which in a society,
it's a dog eat dog world,
and
there.
It's not a nice positive.
It's not
thing
healthy
to be a part of.
No, it's not.
But if you're running a social media business, the only person in theory you're going up against is yourself.
Yeah.
Because
in the morning
you can compare yourself to everybody if you want to, but that's your choice.
Yeah.
Or you could compare yourself to the day before.
Yeah.
You could compare yourself to how you were a week ago, or a year ago, or 2 years ago.
It's definitely always good to take a look back.
Yeah.
Definitely. So you can actually see how far you've come.
Yeah.
From even a couple of days.
Yeah. There was do you know who Matthew McConaughey is? The actor.
Yes.
Yeah. He did a podcast with Russell Brand.
Oh yeah.
A couple of months back, because he's been doing quite a lot of them. Because he's had nothing to do and he's got no work on.
Yeah.
But he says he was basically saying he's kept a journal since he was 16, every single day of his life. And when he feels that he's like, what have I accomplished in this like last year or whatever it is, he'll reality check himself by going back and reading pages when he was 16 and he wanted to become a barrister or whatever it was, to compare where he is now, or when he was living in his mate's house on the sofa and had nothing and no money, to where he is now. And it's that reality check that I don't think people can do, because they've got no record of it. And
what I do sometimes is I go back as far as 8, when I was 8, and I'm like, is this the vision I had of myself when I was 8? And I check with my 8-year-old self, and then I'm like, yeah, this is going towards how before life happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just go back and I check, and I'm like, is this the way I should be going to achieve what I wanted to before all the crap happened?
Yeah. But I think that's something that should get taught in school.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about filters, like how to think for yourself. Because I feel like as you grow up, you get taught how to think, and you never learn the skills that it takes to actually think for yourself and think to yourself, all right, this is what's happened this year. It's been a really good year, it's been a really bad year, but let's still reflect on this year. What's happened? How far have I come? And if you're not happy with it, then that you have the capability to change that mindset and go, okay, let's change.
Yeah.
Rather than just that year finishes and go, oh, that was a shit year. Next year, happy new year, I'm going to make a New Year's resolution that I know I won't keep, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I did it last year, and I did it last year, and I did it the year before that.
It's a bit discipline, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little discipline check I had with myself the other day is I got home, I had some bin bags, and I was like, do you know what? I've had a rough day. I'm not going to take out the bin. I'm not doing it. And I said to Lindsay, I was like, oh, I'm not going to do it. Not doing it. And then I was like, I'll do it in the morning, that's all right. And she was like, yeah, you've had a rough day. And I was like, do you know what? Just had a word with myself, and I'm doing it. Yeah. There's no flipping excuses. I'm just going to get down, I'm going to do it, because I'll thank myself tomorrow when I don't have to do it in the morning. Yeah. Get up a bit later. Yeah. One less thing I have to do the next day. So you've got to be kind to future self as well. And that takes discipline. Yeah,
it does. But like we've just said, like, discipline in, as in what's happened on the past. I think a thing that we also need to think about is disciplining on the future. Yeah. As in setting goals, you know, setting habits that aren't unreasonable. But the problem with habits is
there's good habits and bad habits.
Yeah. But what you need to do is you need to get rid of the bad habits and internalise the good habits. Yeah. But don't let them become a burden to the point where you don't like doing them. Because
Yeah.
if you don't like doing your habits, you'll do them because you've made them a habit.
But it
you
becomes
won't
an obsession.
Exactly, and then that's when you're like, that's when you screw
Obsessions are
yourself up.
unhealthy.
Yeah,
Habits are not.
yeah.
Until they become obsessions.
And I think you can relate that back to business. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can even relate it back to social media. Like, I guarantee you, 98% of people watching the podcast pick up their phone before they go to sleep,
Yeah.
just to double check before they go to sleep.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And they'll set an alarm, they'll roll over, and they probably can't fall asleep, so then they'll pick the phone back up again, and they'll have a quick scroll, and it will send them a bit sleepy. We're at a point now where our generation has to scroll through the phone to send people to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
But also put the blue filter on so it don't keep you
yeah.
awake. But you're
like, when I'm at
actively
home-
keeping yourself awake by looking at your screen in the first place.
Yeah, when I'm at home, my phone's on charge at the other side of the room.
Yeah.
So for me
You have
to
to
get my
separate
phone,
yourself
I have to
from
get
it.
up and walk across the room to pick my phone up.
Yeah.
So I'm lying in bed and I'm tired and I'm like, I'll be honest
Do
with
I
you,
do it? Do I check?
Just no, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's a good habit to get out of.
Yeah.
Is checking your phone. Because,
But then the more you get in tune with social media is the less time you have to spend on your phone, because if you can make social media work for you while you're not looking at your phone,
yeah,
there's no obligation to be on it.
yeah,
So you free up your time then.
yeah,
Obviously it's taking up a bit more of your time in the meantime while you're trying to learn everything. But if you can get yourself to a point where you've made your business and you can start letting it work for itself, it frees you up.
Well, like, it's the same with us, isn't it? Like, for probably the last 3-4 months, we've been working till 7, 8, sometimes 9 o'clock at night every day, trying to get everything set up. Because obviously we had the workshop downstairs as well, and all of this, and learning and teaching. But now we're at a point where we don't need to do that. We know we'll probably do a podcast once, twice, maybe a week, where we stay a little bit later. But reality, we, you know, like we said on a Monday, we're not going to come in till 12 because we don't need to.
No.
We need to give ourselves that break. So we'll have a longer weekend, come in fresh. For
Yeah,
a
you
Monday.
can't forget to live.
No.
But then if you are making your social media platform work for you, then it frees up your time to live.
Yeah.
So there's a constant struggle and balance there, but you can if you can be disciplined enough, you can sort it out.
You can sort that out.
Yeah.
I just think you just have to start, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I know plenty of people that are, I wouldn't say obsessed with social media, but I think if you let yourself become obsessed with social media, then social media can be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you let yourself become obsessed with social media and it's making you better and making you money, how could that be a bad thing? Because you're progressing your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's when that thing it's when it becomes an obsession, when it crosses that line. It's like, say you've got your social media platform in a place where it pushes itself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be on it, but you still are.
Yeah.
And you still check in because of the habit, but then that's then turned into an obsession because then you don't need to be on it, but you still are.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So then that's knowing when you've crossed the line into an obsession, because you know it's working for you in the background, so you could check it in the morning.
Yeah.
But you can't be
But you do it
disciplined
anyway.
enough to not have a peak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though you could leave it. So I think that's when you notice, oh, this has gone a bit far now. I need to change a few things. Maybe I'll put it down. Put it away. Because I know nothing's going to change because I've already set it up to work.
Yeah. And I think that literally depends on the person. I think if you believe that social media is bad for you, it will be bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you change your mindset and think, how can I make this work for me? It will work for you. 99.9% of the time.
Balls in
You
your
just have to
court,
do it.
really, haven't you?
Yeah. If you let it take hold of you, then it will. You know what I mean? It's just like good news and bad news. If all you ever listen to is bad news, you're going to feel negative every day of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of turning the news on and listening to
But then you
negative
start
news,
sharing bad news, so you become a vessel for bad news to travel.
Yeah, and then you're expecting bad news to come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you, let's say, instead of watching a news channel that's always bad news, you turn over and watch, I don't know, Everybody Loves Raymond in the morning before you leave for work, you're naturally going to be in a better mood than you would to be sitting there listening to this has happened and that's happened and there's a war here and there's people dying there and but that's the mindset.
It's whatever
that
you
people
feed
want
yourself
you to be in.
with.
Yeah, it's infinite.
If you eat crap, you feel crap.
Yeah.
And it's the same with your mind. If your mind eats crap, it feels crap.
Yeah.
And then in turn, it causes all sorts of problems in your mind.
Well, like even on that, like the perfect example of that is me and you very rarely eat in the day. Like very, very rarely. Like it's not because we don't choose to. Sometimes we'll be a little bit hungry, but normally I'll eat at night. I'll get in. Let's say we normally get in at 6, 7. I'll have some food.
Yeah.
And then that'll be it. I don't have breakfast because I don't enjoy eating first thing in the morning, and we don't really have lunch because we're always dead busy. But we don't feel hungry either because we're busy.
We sort of. That's a good habit we've got into.
Exactly, yeah. But also, some people will be like, "That's unhealthy because you need to eat more, whatever, whatever." But I know what I'm eating, and I know what I'm consuming.
It teaches your body resilience.
Yeah, of course.
If you're still performing in the day,
yeah,
as a normal person would,
yeah,
on everything you ate yesterday,
yeah,
then your body will learn to be more resilient. So it's teaching your body a lesson, really.
Yeah.
And it's also a bit of discipline as well.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to what we were saying, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like your digestive system is exactly the same thing.
Well,
you can overfeed it.
You can boot it up once a day if you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to boot it up like 5, 6 times a day when you just.
Well, it's like finding that level. Like you can either overfill it or underfill it, and if it takes a bit of time, but eventually you'll find that level where you don't feel full, but you've not got energy. You've still got energy, but you don't feel full, and you feel like you can do whatever you need to do. It's finding that balance. And it's the same with life.
You've seen me like when we've had to move like 7 tons of soil and stuff like that. I push, even though I know like I haven't eaten. I'll still push until I fall over, and then I'm like, actually, this is my limit because my body's just told me, better have some sugar. You know what I mean? Because I must have ran out. Like I didn't account for this when I ate last night. You know what I mean? So that's when you just like, actually, give me some sweets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I also think like going into dietary, I think it's okay to do that. Like. It's okay to have a cheat meal. It's okay to have a cheat day. But like, I don't like the word cheat because you're not cheating. No. It's okay. Like it's allowed. You know what I mean? Like, ask any person that's gone to the gym for a considerable amount of time. They'll all say to you, "I've slipped up at some point," because that's fine. That's normal. It's not. This is what I mean about good habits and obsessions.
Yeah.
Like a habit is for us to basically fast in the day and eat at night. But an obsession would to be if we're hungry in the day and we're getting stomach
and
pains,
we're like no,
I'm not gonna do it.
I'm falling over like ready to go to hospital basically, and I'm like, no, Aaron, you shall not put thy sweets in thy mouth.
Then that'd be an obsession. That'd be stupid.
Yeah.
Then that's borderline onto like dietary issues and stuff.
Yeah.
But and that's the same with life. Like you have to.
But that's
find
pushing
that
it over the edge.
Yeah.
You've gone too far then.
Yeah. Like we could, like we've already said, haven't we? Like we're going to split our time up to half of the time being downstairs and half the time being up here. Because what we don't want to do is become consumed with constantly be making content on here, and then end up hating it because we've become obsessed with it.
Yeah,
we don't want to do that. We need to have a life outside of podcasting and the creative platform and everything.
That's why we've done both.
Yeah,
because then we can keep ourselves in check with the workshop downstairs.
Yeah, and we know that that's important.
Physical work is still important.
Yeah, especially with everything that's going off in the world. We're lucky to have a place that we can come and not go to the gym, but physically work out by doing manual stuff.
Manual labour, yeah.
Rather than just being sat at home on a computer all day, every day, editing, changing things.
Yeah, we didn't leave it up to luck. We built it all. You know what I mean? Because we knew we needed to.
Yeah.
And we didn't stop at every hurdle we jumped over.
Yeah.
So we built it because we knew we're gonna need it, sort of thing. So we've prepped.
Well, we've had to. We've had everything's been leading up to it, and and that's what we were saying about social media at the start. Like, you're going to have to start somewhere. If it's something that people want to do, or if it becomes a point where you haven't got a choice, you better to start when you want to rather than when you have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Start up.
But it's better
now.
to make a start than not. There's
Yeah.
more pros than cons out there.
I mean, even people like, let's say, like painting decorators, plumbers, electricians, and whatnot. Like most of these have got like an Instagram page or a website or whatever. But you know, if they were to just do how-to channel on how to paint a wall, how to paint this, how to build that, how to do this.
Everybody's always wanting to consume that.
Yeah, but they could have that as another income while they're still going to work.
And all they've done is show someone how to use a roofing square.
Yeah, or whatever that is.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of builders, decorators, plasterers, and whatever out there that are in the trade that are becoming a dying trade because of social media, because people don't want to go into a trade.
Yeah.
That they need teaching so that DIY becomes a thing again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rather than going, oh, I'll just pay for someone to come and do that.
No.
Because there's not that spare cash anymore, people are like, oh, I need to do this myself.
But
so if you've got a channel teaching people how to do that, then do it.
And it's going to get hits because there's plenty of people that want to know how to do things.
It doesn't even have to be
Everybody's
long.
getting
you
a
can
bit
record
creative.
it on your phone.
Yeah.
In a minute-long video, how to use a plane.
Yeah.
How to cut in on a ceiling.
Yeah.
How to roll a wall. Whatever it is.
Short vids, snappy, straight to the point.
Yeah.
You can make a business out of that.
Make a religion out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Can.
Yeah. And on that note.
And on that, I can't say it because it'll be copyrighted.
Yeah.
But on that.
I think we leave it there, don't we?
Yeah. So basically, guys, we're going to get some content out this week. Like I said, we're going to probably do a bit of content on social media and the different apps and stuff that we've been using so far to get us to here. The development side and everything.
We're going to have a few people in to see if we can do something to help.
Yeah, we've got a couple of musicians lined up. We've got a couple of video game streamers. And some photography and stuff that's coming up, so keep an eye out on the platform and we'll be sharing everything with you.
Well, it is the creative platform, isn't it? So it's everything.
Yeah, we've even got some businesses that are interested in us doing basically ad campaigns and stuff for them, so specific projects and products that we're going to be helping to get out there to the world that are probably going to help with everything that's going off at the moment. But we're definitely going to do. There's going to be loads more content. Like we said from the start, it's
tips
not just
and
going to be
tricks
the
as well.
Yeah, tips and tricks. It's not just going to be the podcast. We're probably going to end up doing a good news night.
Yes, we are
on a Friday, aren't we? Where we're
just
basically
a little bit of light-hearted.
Yeah, news.
Yeah.
Just what we want to do is we want you viewers to basically send us some stuff that's been happening where you live or whatever that's good, positive news that we can then talk about and share to the world. Yeah.
Shows everybody. Put everyone in a good mood.
Yeah, and let everybody know that there is good stuff going off in the world, whether it's, helping somebody cross the road or starting up a charity or, helping your next door neighbour with a few shopping or
doesn't all have to be bad news.
No, there's way more good news out there than there is bad news.
You just got to look for it.
Yeah,
but we're going to do that for you.
Yeah,
we're going to look for it.
Yeah, and this will be the place for you to come and consume
and feel happy about it.
Feel happy about it.
Yeah,
we'll probably even do it. We might even do an early morning channel at some point. Get you guys up and running in the morning to
radio station music pumping in the background.
Yeah.
Me and you singing some weird bloody song.
I'll be miming.
Yeah, just leave it to me. I'll sort it.
Yeah. But so we're going to be doing again another podcast next week. We'll send the event out and let everybody know when we're going to be doing that.
Yep.
But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Yeah, and all that good stuff as well, so you don't miss
jazz.
anything that we do, because like we keep saying, there's a lot to come.
There's loads to come.